Okay? So look, your body has to harvest the energy somewhere. It might also interest you to know that about 90% of Americans have been shown through research to have a parasite infection right now. About 85 to 90% of Americans have a dysbiosis. Instead of having 85% friendly, they've got 85% unfriendly bacteria in their intestinal tracts, which is literally poisoning their body and throwing their complete biochemistry off and sending them chasing after pills and this patch and that patch. It's a waste of time. You'll spend your money forever. The only reason these things make you feel a little better is because any energy input into the system gives you a sense of feeling better. But energy inputs aren't correction. I can prove that to you. Show me where your car is. I'll walk outside, hit it with a sledgehammer. That would be an energy input, wouldn't it? Right? And it'll feel different, but it won't be better. Right? And I can prove this to you easily. Any of you in this room that has pain in your back or your neck, take a 1/4 of an inch heel lift or even an 1/8 of an inch heel lift, stick it in any shoe. I don't give a damn. That will change your proprioceptive systems and alter the energy systems in your body enough that you will have pain relief probably from anywhere from a day to a week. If you just keep switching the heel lift back and forth, you'll keep tricking the proprioceptive system. I'm just showing you that an energy input doesn't mean you're doing anything for anybody. It just means you're tricking the system. Why play games? Let's get to the basics here. Okay? So we cannot afford, if you've got problems with your nervous system, hormonal system, or any of these biological systems, it means you're probably making basic mistakes and you need to get your priorities right. So you might want to say, well, when you don't eat right, what am I going to look like? I'll show you. Right? Remember, your body always has a need for nutrition, and it sends you after nutrition. So if you eat food and there's no nutrition in it, your brain says, keep eating, keep eating. I'm short on omega-3 fatty acids. Keep eating. I'm short on B12. Keep eating. I'm short, and you just keep eating. So what do? People are literally starving to death, and this is what they look like. Oh, that's toaster. I won't get into that, but eating bread is a bad idea. Okay. Because what happens down here is a big question mark. Simply, about 55 to 60% of white-skinned people are gluten intolerant. As soon as you eat gluten, it inflames your intestinal tract, wipes out your microvilli. You can't digest dairy anymore, so you keep stressing your immune system, and then you have to divert all your energy into your immune system, and anytime you inflame the gut, you elevate your cortisol levels. That elevates your stress levels, so now you throw your blood sugar all over the place. Should I keep going? You're screwed, right? All in a toaster. So there you go. That's common. Travel around the world like I do. You see that all the time. I actually had to go to McDonald's recently in Australia. I couldn't get my email anywhere. The only place in this little town, I was doing an advanced course in nutrition and lifestyle coaching in the mountains in Australia, and the only place that had a wireless internet connection was bloody McDonald's. So I sat in them stinky fats, and I watched these kids just bouncing all over the place and throwing stuff, and they're just wound up. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. This is wild. This is movie stuff, right? And it stunk. Have you ever smelled the fats in McDonald's? You can't get it out of your clothes. It's gross. It got stuck in my hair. Okay? So what happens is when you don't eat right, first you get tired, then you eat too much carbohydrate for energy, then you get fat and tired, and usually you get sick more and more, and finally you get obese, and then you're diseased, and then you're dead, right? So what do you see today? You see all sorts of fat people with fat kids because they're doing the same thing. They're eating the same way. They're doing the same stuff. If you read the book Pottinger's Cats, if you've never read the book Pottinger's Cats, write it down. It's not an expensive book. You can get it from the price-pottinger.org website. Read that book. If that doesn't just straighten you right up, then you're already dead. So what did Price show? Price showed that whenever he went to native societies, wherever they had not touched white man's food, what I call the 4 white devils, they hadn't touched white flour, white sugar, no pasteurized dairy products, and no salt, no table salt. Sodium chloride is a poison. It doesn't occur in nature. Salt is not sodium chloride. What do? The salt companies extract all the nutrition, sell it to GNC, Cell use sodium chloride, because 97% of all the salt used in the world is used in chemical manufacturing processes and food manufacturing processes, but most of it's used for chemistry, so they got to get all the trace minerals out of there because they disrupt chemical compositions. So they don't make salt for human beings. You got to buy sea salt or you're just getting poisoned. So the doctors say, oh, don't eat salt, it raises your blood pressure. No, not if you eat real salt. And there's lots of experts out there to prove it. But my point is, as long as you don't eat the 4 white devils and you eat what your native race is designed to eat, Price showed that you'll have normal dental structure, minimal cavities, if any, optimal bone growth and development, and minimal disease. As a matter of fact, if you read the book Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, you will find something very interesting. In several countries, among several tribes, they did not even have a word for cancer in their language. In 1936, Dr. Romig, a white doctor that took care of many of the trappers and North American Indians up in the region of British Columbia, said until white man had brought white processed food, until the trappers started bringing the food up to the Indians, he had never seen cancer in his life amongst the Indians, and they didn't even have a word for it in their language, right? That was 1936. Here, 1 in 2 of us is going to die of cancer. So there's your first nutritional lesson. If it's white flour, white sugar, processed table salt, or pasteurized dairy, don't put it in your mouth, only put it in your enemy's mouth. Okay? So, let me show you what happened when people ate the 4 white devils within the first generation. So that means if you exposed your kids, so say their kids all of a sudden showed up at the trading post and some trapper says, here, try this gummy bear, right? And they started getting a hold of it. And this happened in almost all the port cities like Seattle, San Francisco, where the natives started having access to white man's food. Watch this, in the first generation. Look at what happened. Look at the rotten teeth falling out. Already, that is just ugly. How many of you ladies would love to kiss him? Right? It might interest you to know that Weston Price's research showed the instant that you put processed sugar in your mouth, white sugar, the lymphatic flow through your teeth reverses. Instead of the lymphatic fluid coming through the tubules of the teeth from the maxillary arteries and the mandibular arteries to wash the teeth and keep the unfriendly bacteria out of the teeth, the instant you put sugar in your mouth, it reverses the flow and it sucks pathogenic bacteria up into your lymphatic system and into your body, and they circulate until they get to their favorite organ. And in 600 repetitive cases, he took the bacteria out of his patient's teeth and injected it into rabbits. And in every single case, the rabbit within 2 weeks had the exact same disease as patient did. All he did was suck the bacteria out of their teeth. He pulled their cavities out, opened them up, and took an extract, mixed it up in a fluid, and injected it into rabbits. And in every case of 600 cases, the rabbit got the same disease that his patient had, just by taking the bacteria out of the mouth. What percentage of kids' breakfast cereals are sugar? 46 to 53% straight sugar. What are we putting on our breakfast cereals? Skim milk, sugar. What do they put on top of that? White sugar. Hey, isn't this genius?